Hi, Samadhi. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Happy Sunday. How are you, Kat?
It's Happy Monday for me, but Happy Sunday for you.
Oh, that's right. Thank you. Is it super early for you right now, or is it middle of the night?
5 a.m. just after.
I don't know how you look fabulous all the time. I took 2 hours just to look decent.
Oh, you look beautiful.
Thank you. Not 2 hours, but when you're home a lot, I'm home a lot, and I work from home, and I know you do too. So
Yeah.
I'm always messy, but you always manage to look beautiful. So it's nice to see you. I'm serious.
Thank you. Let's
Mm.
wait for some viewers, and then we'll talk about your tarots and.
Mm. I'm so excited. I'm so excited because what I do is I always set my intention before I'm going to do readings or a show. And I asked, which decks do we want to have out? And I have all my other ones here. So if anyone has any requests, I might have it. But I got all my decks out today, and I thought it would be fun to just use some different decks. So
Yeah.
I have the Golden Girls, which I got as a birthday gift a couple months ago. It's wonderful. You would think that it's just one of those, those show pieces. Look at them on the side here. You would think it was one of those collector things, but that they wouldn't read well. But this is like one of my best decks to read with because
Wow.
it follows the Rider-Waite system. And
Yeah.
so if you're familiar with that system, it's exactly the same. And I'll just give you an example of a card. Oh, look at that. This is not a coincidence. Queen of Swords. Oh my God, and she has those purplish pinks like you have. I love that. So
Yeah.
this is all about, taking control of our ideas and implementing ideas and being in control. So so I have that deck, and then I chose 3. I chose the Animal Tarot, which is always so cute. Love that cat. And again, it's based on the Rider-Waite, except instead of, how the swords, the cups, the different suits, well, they changed it to the seasons. So I love that. So it's connected to the seasons, the different suits, and so now we're in summer. So we are all about love, because that's love in relationships and just connections with others. Hi,
Yeah.
Vineet. Welcome. Thank you for joining.
Hi.
And Vineet is my fiance, and he's also a reader, by the way. Anyway, and
Yeah.
I also have the chakra cards, the Chakra Wisdom Oracle. I know people love to see the boxes. But these are amazing because I love to use the tarot with these, because you also connect to, okay, what are the blockages? Because there's people that come to me for a few months, and they're moving toward improving a situation, like in their relationship or whatever it is, but there's certain blockages, and they're like, I keep doing this over and over again, or why is this such a struggle? And
Yeah.
what I do is I start doing chakra energy clearings, where it's like I can see what area, like what part of who you are and your connectivity to spirit and body, what part's a little off, right? Thank you so much for joining, Vineet. I'm not sharing. I decided to stay focused on the show. I love sharing when I'm watching other shows. And Kat, thank you for putting on some amazing shows lately. I'm noticing some combinations of different people together and some new faces. I love that.
Yeah, and we've got the Vegas competition starting soon. That's exciting.
Amazing. I feel like it's all under wraps, and then it's going to be like, ta-da!
Yeah, that's what it's like. Exactly. There is a lot going on. It's going to be
that.
Yeah.
And you know what? I saw yesterday that one of our amazing readers, Joy, she said you had done a reading for her. Now, please don't tell us the secrets, although she probably is going to tell me anyway. But you had done a reading for her, and it's funny because we forget that there's a bunch of talented people here, and among the crew, among the people that work here, we're so tightly knit and so close that we forget just like the amazing gifts that are available to us in this group, in terms of the readers. So I love that we have quality readers here. I love that we have people who also, I love that we sometimes give each other free readings, the readers, because we can. But this is just as a token of appreciation for helping each other out so much. But we forget that, like, we're all so amazing, and we are here to help people. So what I want is, and I can't see who's watching because I'm through our website. But what I want to say is, if you're watching and you want to give yourself a gift, like you're like, you know what, let me treat myself, choose from any of the amazing readers here that you see, because we all have our different ways of doing things. We all
Yeah.
have our interests. Like, I love astrology, I love energy healing, of course I love tarot. I mean, if you saw my decks, I mean, I have them all beside me, so I might just keep showing the decks through today, because I know when I'm watching shows, I love to see the tools that people use. Oh, I
Yeah.
also have pendulum. So, Kat, if you
Nice.
want to share, I can keep rambling, but if you'd love to share for
Okay.
us, or whatever
I
you'd
will.
love to do, yeah, is
Thank
that
you.
good? And you'll stay in
Yeah.
the green room. And the amazing thing is, everyone who's watching, that if you get a reading from me today, just click on that link. It's only $19.97, which is such an amazing deal. But if you get that, Kat is also going to pop back in, because she's there. She's just to the side watching and listening and sharing and dealing with the stuff that I don't want to deal with. So she's doing that for us. Thank you. But yeah, so if you get a reading with me or any of the readers when we're doing a show, then you will also get a message from Kat. And what I love about messages from more than one reader, thank you, Vineet, thank you so much. What I love about being able to get a reading from more than one reader is you see the layers and you see the perspective and you see how things build on other things. So Vineet, it's funny because Kat and I were talking about just things that you and I were discussing yesterday in terms of our collaborating together and how we've been doing many readings for people over the last number of months. And I was telling her that it's so interesting, and this has happened with other readers as well, where one of us will connect and get something, and then the other will connect and get something very similar or something that adds to that. And so that's, I mean, it seems exciting. I mean, it is exciting, and I'm always in awe, like, wow, as many times as I do this and as many readings as I do, I'm always in awe about the how when we connect to spirit and we put the intention out there that we want the messages to come through. And this is what I do. I always set the intention before each and every reading. So even if I'm doing a bunch of readings in a row, which happens, I set the intention and I ask that my guides and the angels surround the person for whom I'm doing the reading for, and also assist me. I work very closely so that the messages that come through are in the light and that are for your highest and greatest good. And so it's no surprise. It's no surprise that if you'll have a couple of gifted readers who are working with you, that the messages will be very much aligned. Okay, I'd love to show you guys the pendulums that I'm using today. I really only use 2 pendulums. And actually, I was only using one until recently. I treated myself, and I ordered one for my good friend who has a shop in Florida. So that was amazing to receive. So these are the 2. Actually, both were from that same shop. So we have the rose quartz crystal, okay, rose quartz crystal. And why I love this crystal, oh, okay, I'm going to talk, wait a minute. I'm assuming that everyone uses or has had readings with pendulum. Let me see if I can see the comments. Oh, yay! I've done shows on here before, but I didn't click comments because that happens. So anyone who's popped in, please do say hi. I would love to see your comments, and if you have any questions, I would love to answer those questions. Okay, so for anyone who's watching who hasn't had a reading with pendulum, okay, let me just finish showing the 2 pendulums. Okay, there's this one. Yes, Vineet, more brains together bring more clarity in the right answers. That's true. And it's also that, we set our intentions, right? We set our intentions, and I do that even when I use any divination tool, including pendulum. So here is the other pendulum. It's see-through. It's the rose quartz. Sorry, it's the clear quartz. This one's the clear quartz. And they both work amazing. My friend did some Reiki on it. I didn't even know that people did Reiki on pendulum, but that makes total sense why it's so accurate. And what I do is I use it as a way to affirm the messages that have come through. And it's great. Pendulum is great for a yes or no question. So if you're wanting something, because I know people like to know things about timelines. So they want to know, will I hear back from that job application within the next month, right? Will I hear about that job? Or you know, am I going to get married within the next year? Because like my friend, actually a friend of mine just got married yesterday. Yay. And a lot of people are changing things, changing their plans. They're having smaller ceremonies, or they're doing a combination of, maybe an online wedding and then having a party at a later time. But people are wanting to know these timeline questions. So pendulum is amazing for that, in that I can ask, will this happen within the next year? Will this happen within the next 6 months? Will this happen within the next few weeks? And it's super accurate. So I'm going to actually quickly share out. I know I said I wouldn't, but I'm going to do that because I would like at least a couple more people to be here. Now, what I would like to do is when we get more people in here, I would love to answer any questions about either psychic ability or energy, or you may have noticed in the description how it says that I'm a love coach and intimacy expert. And I'm finding that conversations and readings that may start off or start off with, how do I improve a relationship? How do I improve a connection? How do I make or help my relationship? Sorry, just trying to share without you guys hearing the volume on my phone, because that would not be ideal to hear me twice. Does anybody remember Sesame Street? Vincent Twice, the puppet? Anyway, I don't want to be Vincent twice. So yeah. So what I was saying was that when people come to me and they are working through or wanting some coaching, wanting some support around their relationship issues, what we often discover is that there are blockages, there are things going on that are affecting feelings about who you are, feelings about or relating to self-love, self-acceptance. And I really think that, it's very challenging to just focus on one area of your life relationally if you are not giving the same attention and focus and love to loving yourself and self-acceptance. And I think we talk about self-acceptance a lot, sort of like love yourself, be kind, treat yourself, like treat yourself to a reading here, which is definitely one way of giving to yourself. That is definitely one way. But there are ways every day that we can give to ourselves love in the different ways. So I'll give you an example, okay? An example would be um, the words in which that we use to speak, okay, about ourselves, and the words that we think about ourselves and toward ourselves. Hi, everybody. If you have popped in, please do say hi. Otherwise, I won't know you're here. Okay, so please do say hi. I'm also taking questions. Okay, if you have any questions, if you would love a reading, I have all my decks here. Okay, and I'll show you in a moment all the wonderful decks I have. I'm just sharing to a group, and then we will be back. So, hi, Fatima. Welcome. Thank you for joining. So what I'm doing is we're just having a conversation about self-love, the connection between self-love and accepting your authentic self in every way, and the connection to successful relationships and other things, actually everything in life. But people often do want their relationship questions answered, but we also want to see the connection. How do things that I am still holding on to affect what could potentially go on or change in my relationship? Okay. So, Fatima, we are offering today and this is a special when we are live. We are offering today readings from 1997. And for anyone else who's popped in, I want to just explain this. 1997, and not only do you get a reading from myself, you also get a one card from our cat, or from our founder, Kat, and who's just in the green room and standing by and watching and doing all that amazing tech stuff behind the scenes. And we just ask that you leave us a review, and we'll give you that information afterwards. But we ask that you leave us a review. Feedback is amazing and really appreciated. Okay. Thank you. Oh, from Dubai. That's amazing. So I am in Canada. Our readers are all over the world. And we are here to help. If you have any questions about the way I do my readings or what tools I use, I have mentioned a few. I have my pendulums, which add that extra clarification. And I also have my varying decks. I am trained in, I have a master's certificate in tarot. But as we know, when it comes to this work, a variety of tools can be used to connect to spirit. And so I'm very blessed to be able to do this work and be with you all today. Okay, I'm going to lower this just a little bit so that you guys can see me okay. All right, so what we're doing is we are offering mini reads, and even though it says mini, I don't rush them, and you always get a minimum of 3 cards. What I like to do is give you usually 3 tarot cards, says quite a lot, and I have a variety of decks, but today I'm using the Golden Girls Tarot, which is based on the Rider-Waite-Smith system. So even though it's one of those collectible items, how is it in Dubai? Fatima, I'm just curious. How is it today? And how are you doing? I have that one. And I have beside me Animal Tarot. Again, both of these tarot decks are based on the Rider-Smith Waite system. And I know people like to, some people are purists and they really love the Rider-Waite-Smith. And then I also have a chakra deck on hand. Let's see who else. Hi, Maria. How are you? Lovely to see you. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Maria is another one of our lovely gifted readers on the site. And I was just talking earlier about how it's amazing how we have these talented people all in one site. So if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel or our Facebook page, or you haven't checked out the website, I suggest you do all of these. You get to, if you click on a reading during this program, you get to, like I said, you get a reading from me, you get 1 card from Kat, who is our founder, and I love this part the most. I mean, I love getting readings, of course, and giving readings, but guys, you get an automatic free prize. And we don't mean like free, like, oh, try again, or sorry, not this time. We're not talking about one of those where it's like 1 every 100 people get something, but every single prize gets something. So typical prizes include, an extra 15 minutes on your reading, on a private reading, or a 45-minute extra reading, because I clicked it once to see what could I possibly get, and that's what I got. So there are so many amazing things that you can win, and I believe they're all reading related. So you're either getting extra time or you're getting a free reading of a certain amount of time. So I think that's amazing. So Fatima, you've come across me for the first time. Well, welcome. Kimberly, welcome. Lovely to see everyone here. Kimberly, nice to see you. How are you doing? Hi. I haven't done a show in a while. I've been really, really busy with all the readings. And as I was saying, for people who haven't subscribed to the website, Online Psychics Live, .live, please do check that out. And we're also on YouTube. Okay, so I will just, I'll wait to see if anyone wants a reading. Otherwise, I may just continue rambling. Okay, so the way it works, Fatima, is if you purchase a reading, okay, which the PayPal link is right there, and it's really simple. It just takes a few seconds. The readings are on sale on the live video for $19.97. And when you go to purchase that, right at the same time, there's something that will allow you to do a free spin. Okay, and it's basically through Messenger. So once you click that link, everything will be straightforward. But if you have any trouble, let us know, because Kat is standing by. She's one of the founders. She is standing by to assist with anything. Okay. Oh my gosh, hurricane. I'm just reading.
I was making coffee.
No, that's okay. So that's good. Oh, I actually didn't have coffee today because I was like, it's gonna make me I like to be in a calm zen. So I don't know if this is calm and zen. It sounds hyper and excited to me, but if I have coffee or too much caffeine, I can be like that. So I was like, oh, I'll make a coffee later, but I'm excited because I bought an exciting creamer, and I love when I try new creamers for coffee. Anyways, that's a whole thing. So hello. Okay. So let me see what people are writing here. So Kimberly, please stay safe. Kim, I guess, I mean, I know you're in the US. that, is this, I mean, I'll be honest, I've been so busy with work and with my private readings and through the online psychics site that I haven't been as focused on what's going on in terms of weather and news. So I hope everyone is staying safe wherever you are. I'm kind of in my own bubble. I've been working from, I used to be, for those who are not really familiar with me or are meeting me for the first time, I was a high school teacher for a number of years. Actually, before that, I was an educational assistant for a number of years. I was a high school teacher for a shorter amount of years. And as of early last year, I've been dedicating my full time to psychic readings and to intuitive coaching and love manifesting coaching and all that juicy stuff. So whatever I talk about when I'm rambling on is largely or is all me reflecting on my personal experiences, but also the personal experiences of the clients and people that I've been able to help with, of course, spirit guidance. And I don't do anything without support and assistance from spirit. And before I do any reading, I always say, may trust, truth, peace, light, love, and authenticity guide my spirit guides and guardian angels through me in this reading for example, Kim, if I was doing a reading for Kim. I didn't catch your message there, but I will scroll down. Okay. Yeah, so we're not doing free today, although, like I said, if you purchase this very discounted reading, thank you so much, Maria. You are also amazingly talented. And I look forward to I was talking to Kat about collaborating with some of you, and I would love to have a show with you, Maria. So let's stay tuned. But guys, this discount price of $19.97 is not going to last very long. So if you want to take advantage of that, I will not rush you. So once I'm doing your reading, I will definitely take my time. It's always a minimum of 3 tarot cards, and I usually add in an oracle card as spirit draws or as I'm called to by spirit. Yes, so $19.97. Thank you so much, Maria, for your kind words. So yes, the free reading comes after you purchase your reading, and then you get to take advantage or pass that on to a friend. But basically, you're going to be able to get something bonus. It could be a half an hour read or 45-minute reading and so on. So it's amazing, amazing what we offer here at Online Psychics Live. Okay, so does anyone have any questions about either how I do my readings or anything to do with anything? You can ask anything. I'll let you know if that's something that I'm familiar with or would be able to speak on. Oh my gosh, you're used to hurricanes. I am not, luckily. I'm in Ontario, Canada, and there absolutely are, but I personally thank you, have not had to deal with anything like that. But I like that you guys are planned. And you know how I mentioned Golden Girls? Golden Girls deck. I absolutely loved the Golden Girls. Love them, love them. I'm just remembering Sophia, who plays the mother. She's like, a hurricane is coming, and she's freaking out, but she's actually getting all organized. So that was one of the episodes. Love that show. Oh, no worries, Kim. We are hoping that people who maybe have never had a reading through Online Psychics Live can take this opportunity, because I always hear clients tell me that they were glad that they purchased the mini online so they could get a sense of what you get, because you, like Maria will contest to this, you get a lot of information. Spirit, I'm finding that the more and more readings that I am doing, and again, this is my full-time work now. I am a former high school teacher. People are like, oh, did they fire you? No. In fact, I'm still part of the accredited, whatever it's called, governing body of teachers where I live. So no, it was a choice. It was called my heart and my soul and my authentic self was ready to go to the next level. And so that's something that I really want to encourage people, that if you've been doing the same thing, and again, when I say the same thing, the same patterns of thinking, of behavior, the same struggles, if there's stuff, and it could do with career, it could do with a relationship, it could do with friendship, it could do with just simple day-to-day life, but if there's patterns or ways that you're just like, oh, I'm trying to get out of this, or I'm stuck, or why do things not change, or how do I get things to change? I'm going to just tell you that a lot of it, or maybe all of it, has to do with you really looking within to check in and to get to know your authentic self. That sounds overly simplistic, but it's not. It's simple in that all you have to do is love your authentic self. Hi, Ames. Lovely to see you. Thank you for being here and supporting this lovely website and Facebook group and me. Uh, thank you so much. Yeah, so Maria, that's true. I mean, for my private readings, there's a range of prices. If you look at the online psychics live, for our 1 hour readings and so forth, you do get a lot. There's people that want to do like what's in store for August or what's in store for the next 6 months. So sometimes, very often, I'm spending over an hour on a reading. But what's great about the mini readings is that you can get some insights, and you don't have to spend an arm and a leg, right? And you can get these insights that are quite powerful. And so, hello, welcome. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Jaze from New Zealand. Well, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yes, I do appreciate if everyone could share. So today I am doing readings. I am a psychic medium. Now, I don't do mediumship on the lives, okay? I do those in the private readings. So if you ever want to book a reading with myself or anyone else privately, please do check out our website, onlinepsychics.live. We also have a YouTube channel, so do check that out. Okay, so I am going to just see the comments, make sure I didn't miss anything, but I appreciate you being here. Jason. Okay, well, thank you, Jason, for clarifying that. Welcome. So I'm a psychic medium. I'm also a love manifesting coach. And I was talking about how connecting and loving our authentic self and getting to know our authentic self, and not only getting to know, but then taking that information and that self-knowledge and really truly knowing our soul and who we are, that completely unlocks everything. It sounds overly simplistic, and why I said it wasn't is it can take a while to get your mind and your whole self aligned with certain things. So let me give you an example. Okay, I like to use examples, and this is probably from my teaching days where it's like, okay, I've blabbered on, half the class is like drifting off. It's not personal, but they're probably thinking about, that text message from their friend, their crush, or whatever it is, right? And they're not listening. So what I love to do is to give some examples, and I'm not saying that you guys are like high school kids who aren't listening. That's not what I mean. But I'm just saying that I found ways to give examples because I do kind of go blah, 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 everywhere. It's my personal style. Random. I blame it on my Aquarius moon. Anyone else here into astrology? Aquarius moon, I do not want to be restricted with my thoughts. I want to explore, I want to talk, but I can get random. Am I right, Maria? Maria is another gifted reader on the site, and she is amazing, and she's also a friend. Ames, random, right? Am I right? Exactly. So some of you are regular viewers. I appreciate you popping in. Some of you are getting readings regularly. I also appreciate that so much. And some of you are also supporting other readers on the site, which is also really amazing. Okay, guys, so I have about half an hour, and I want to, as much as I want to get all rambly, which I probably will, and I'm going to get to some examples of what a couple of things that I want to mention. Just a couple of things. If you get a reading, Kat, who is one of our founders, is going to also pull a card for you, okay, on this live. So just want to let you know that. And the free spin, free prize. So let's say that after many years, and I'm going to use a personal example, I'm going to use something that is personal to me. For many years, as an introvert, which that's part of who I am, I gain my energy from alone time. I gain my energy. I revamp my, let's say, social battery, social and emotional and energy battery. I'm just using I love the analogy of a battery because you can almost like a phone battery. When it's like low and you're like, hurry up, I got to plug it in. Well, I have to plug in the proverbial battery for myself by what I do is downtime, time to myself, I pursue overall individual or, individualized hobbies. Even my work is all from distance, right? So all my readings, all my clients, all of my work is from afar, right? And so I'm still technically spending a lot of time on my own, which is one of the amazing things about this work, is that I can connect and connect to my guides, connect to the angels, and give you those messages and give you that full attention, and then be able to just, most people have to drive home from work. I'm already home. So that's very convenient in terms of energy, right? I don't have to encounter hundreds of people a day or whatever it is. But so let's stick to this example. And this is about, and this, why I'm bringing this up is to give you an example of when we really accept something about ourselves, then it's almost like everything else opens up, and all those doors that we perceived as closed doors and, barriers and, these blockages, things start to just really almost magically. And that's why I believe that there are so many things that are miracles, because there's these little miracles in our lives every day if we are paying attention. So for many years, not only did I try to downplay my introversion due to feeling shameful feelings around it, right? Because overall, our society is super extroverted. Yes, it varies. Because I mean, there's a few books I would highly recommend if you're interested in extroversion, introversion. There is a connection to all the work that we do here, right? It's getting to know yourself. So there are many books, but simply, I was for many years resisting part of who I truly was, my true nature, or who I'd always been. Because I remember coming home from high school every day and needing to just come in, grab a drink or whatever, a little snack, and then literally go up to my room, shut the door. Like I needed to have that time to revamp and to re-energize, so that now I could be able to, in that case it was hang out with my nieces who used to come over to my home every day when I was in high school. I was an aunt at 10. That's a whole other thing. But, I was able to then, after having that downtime, have energy for others. So for many years, I was resisting that. I was feeling ashamed about that. When I didn't want to go to, a super loud party, or I didn't want to socialize or do things for 2 or 3 days in a row, or, there was something that was coming up that I just really had no interest. What I tended to do was sort of, well, often a lot of times we'll agree to something. Do you guys find yourselves agreeing to things and then being like, I don't really think I even want to do that, right? And this is why checking in, our inner guidance, checking in and being really like, is this really what I want, or is this being expected of me? Are there these thoughts that are coming into my mind that say, if I don't do this or that, I'm going to be judged? Or if I, say, I'm not interested in this, how am I going to be received? Or what, how are people going to react to that, right? So for a long time, I really tried to be this life of the party. Always, when I was out, like, yeah, yeah, but just trying to give the people what they wanted. And what I found was that for the most part, I was miserable, because what would happen is that I would put on this, like, well, this really social and loud and just excited. And I'm not saying I was never having fun or excited. Of course I would, but I would pressure myself to be this extroverted version of myself, to only come home and then for days, sometimes weeks, need to like not talk to people, just like, ugh. And so the point is, I agreed to many things that I really didn't want to be part of. And so I use this example to show that once I started noticing and connecting to those elements of, okay, my past, of course, childhood's going to come back. I mean, those initial relationships that we have primarily with parents and our caregivers when we're very young, those shape so much, right? So I really had to do the inner child work. And it sounds like work, but you know what? It's been an exciting voyage, because so long as you accept that we are all healing and we are all learning, if you accept that we have healing to do and we have learning to do, then we don't have that resistance anymore. It's no longer, oh my gosh, this is so much work. I've got to change this. I've got to work on this. Because instead it becomes, I'm so excited to be able to have mastery over my own life. I am so excited that the old programming and the victim stories don't actually have to keep going, right? And it's all about, and that's why I do this work, and that's why people, I do believe, appreciate readings and connecting, and this kind of psychic intuitive coaching, because there are other people that are somewhere else along the path than you are, and there's people that are further along. It's not even a linear path, right? It's very circular, right? So, and that in this moment in time, there are people, there are resources, there are people that have already gone through what you've gone through. And that's something that I really love about this work, is that, and I was talking about this earlier, how, sometimes I give readers on this site readings and vice versa, and they give me readings. It's always great to get that extra perspective, because there are people. Hi, Natalie. I didn't even know you were here. Welcome. Yay. Lovely to see everyone. I'm so excited that everyone's here. Jason, welcome. Jason, if you haven't subscribed to the website, onlinepsychics.live, please do. Myself and other psychics are there. But if anyone wants a reading, I do want to say that there's about 20 minutes left, or 25 or so. So I know I'm talking, but feel free to interrupt. Click that link, and you're going to get bonus things. Hello, Melody. Welcome. I love seeing new faces and familiar faces. But so today, I'm only on here for about 35 minutes left. I'm happy, or about 30 minutes. I'm happy to do this for you. And you will get a card from Kat, and also a free spin, which, as I keep telling people, that when I clicked it to see, okay, what would I get? I don't need a reading right now, but what would I get if I did? And it was 45-minute extra, free 45 minutes extra, right? So all these spins will guarantee you a prize. So it's not like, the coffee thing. I'm in Canada, the Tim Hortons, they probably have this in the States. Oh, try again. That's not how this is. Okay. So does anyone have any questions? I would love to answer any questions, either about how I do my readings, what divination tools I use, how I connect to the angels, spirit guides, and whatever you might want to ask. Okay. Thank you so much, Natalie. I love how everyone is so supportive. We're all supportive of one another. We love to share each other out, because we believe that if somebody needs support, they will be guided to the right reader. And you know what? I say try a few different readers. If you get this discount, you can be here with me today and then try another reader another time and treat yourself. And again, we talked about treating your soul. Trina, welcome. So lots of familiar faces. Trina, thank you so much. So can entities remove with POLA alone? So I'm not sure what you mean by POLA. Please do tell me. I'd love to learn more things. I'm always open to learning. So are you talking about Palo Santo? Is that what you mean, hun? So first of all, we can talk a little bit about dark energies, dark spirit. I will say that the light is always stronger. But I also want to say that anyone who does spirit work is advised to do some protection work. Okay. For me, it's setting intentions, working closely with my guide, being very specific about what I am doing. For those of you who were here earlier, or if you weren't, I always, every time I do a reading, I always set intentions. I'm very clear about how I do that. Okay. I do use Palo Santo. And I use it. I would have had it here, but I don't. I usually just put it before I do readings, so or incense. But I do use a lot of Palo Santo. I love it very much. But in terms of, let's say, entities, so this is a very interesting topic to talk about. I will share an experience that I had a few. So I'm not sure if I'm going to answer your question, but I would say that is part of the process. But setting intentions, also disconnecting. So after I do a reading, I always say, I release what isn't mine. I release what doesn't serve me. So it's basically, you know what? I disconnect. And I also do something, and I know readers, you've seen readers, I'm sure, with a deck of cards, knock on the decks. I knock on this before a reading and after a reading. But I also either snap my fingers or clap, and that's an amazing way to just disperse the energy and say, I release any energy that is no longer serving me, is no longer mine. Anything that came through, please go back to where you came or to the light, whatever is in the highest and greatest good of all. Okay. So let me see what Trina wrote. A friend told me in my classroom was Nancy, so I had already staged. Okay. So first of all, a friend told you. Now, I'm not discrediting the friend. And if I have time, I'll tell you my story. I absolutely know that there can be ways that energies are intrusive. Okay. This can, if we think about sort of even our day-to-day lives with other people, right? We're in a good mood. We're like, yes, this is going well, and this is going well, and I've accomplished this, and there's all these amazing things, and I'm feeling happy. And then you'll get home. This is just in a made-up scenario. You'll get home, and you're like, hi, and somebody'd be like, what are you so happy about? And suddenly your energy goes, right? I don't know. Maybe that doesn't happen to you. But as empaths in particular, and clairsentience, and just many of us, our energy can be very much affected by others, right? So first of all, Trina, I want to say, let's challenge that. Okay. Let's challenge that maybe it's not a negative energy. Maybe it's just an energy that is lost. Okay. So I want to, first of all, there's a few things that are coming to mind, Trina, but if you would like, and I'm not saying that you have to do this, but if anyone feels that that there is a negative energy of some sort, then yes, things like Palo Santo, but also just saying, I release, and open the windows, open the doors if you can for a few seconds, for a few minutes, and just say, what, I want to release anything or anyone, any energies here that do not belong. I want to ask them to please go back to where they came from, or into the light, whatever is in the highest and greatest good of all. And I literally, if you see me, my hands like this, because I've done it many times, where I literally gently envision that I'm seeing this kind of smoky clouds. I don't like to envision something scary. I like to sort of envision like a murkiness, sort of like when our chakras are not aligned and there's like blockages. Instead of being difficult with myself and saying, get out, you bad, and mojo that's sticking to my heart chakra today, get out. No, it's about being gentle and kind, right? So I envision, and the power of visualization is so key here. So Trina, I simply want to, and this is a topic that we could talk for a very long time, but I simply want to tell you, yes, Palo Santo was amazing. Something else you might want to try to do is rely on your own spiritual, and Trina, I know that you have a spiritual system, rely on your own spiritual belief system, whatever it is that you call to. If you call to the angels, if you call to Jesus, if you call to Shiva, if you call to, lately I've been asking for support from St. Anthony. My dad, who is one of my guides, he was named after St. Anthony. So whatever works for you, call on them, ask the angels to release and to keep the energy in your classroom one that is aligned with love and light. Now, if you personally were encountering certain difficult things, I would suggest there's other things to do, but that would be a whole other thing. But it's what I was talking about, energies with other people. It's the same principle. You decide what you're going to take on, just like with your thoughts. You choose. Hi, Christina. I'm so happy you're here. That is amazing. Lovely to see you. So you guys were talking about this yesterday. Yeah. The way I see it is this. If you are working in the light, and I'm not even talking about psychic readers right now, although that does include them. If you are somebody who is making the decision that no matter what is going on in the outside world, either globally, politically, in your home, in your whatever, right? Like I gave you the example of, you get home, you're in a great mood, and then somebody's all like a mood killer. They call it energy vampire. Well, guess what? I'm here to say, no one's going to be an energy vampire to me unless I allow it. Okay, now I will say that for many decades, and I didn't use the terms energy vampire back then, but ever since I was a kid, yes, there were negative energies around me and negative entities. And you know what? Sometimes the most negative entities are the humans around you. Okay, I remember my dad passed away, and he's come through of quite a few times. And he's always with me, and he's always guiding me, but he's come through in very clear, distinct ways. I have some stories about that, but that's a whole other thing. They involve my family, so I don't know if I should tell. I don't think I'll tell them on here. But basically, my family was like, we were all about to have dinner. It was family day this year, and my dad came through, and I'm like, stop. and we're doing something else right here, right? So that was very interesting. I mean, they know my work, they know what I do, but that was just a moving experience for everyone. But I'm rambling around. I want to see what comments I've missed. Yes, first of all, I love the community, the amazing people that I've met since starting this journey. Um, I used to do somebody, a good friend of mine was like, I didn't know. I mean, I've only known her a couple years, but um, and we're friends and we haven't met in person, but that doesn't really matter, right? Because energy is energy. But I remember her saying, like, oh, I didn't know that you had been doing readings for years. And I said, well, I had years ago, but I didn't have this connection in this community of people that were either aligned in terms of interest and curiosity, but also working in this area, right, in this field. So when I was super young, like in high school, in my early 20s, yes, I used to do palm readings. Yes, I used to do cards, oracle cards, but I used to get drained and I had no idea, I had no conversations or knowledge, right? And back then it's like, go to the library, right? It wasn't internet at home when I was a teenager. So um, I didn't know that there were ways that you could protect your energy now. And so, and I will read your comments in a second, but um, simply when it comes to energy, you get to decide. And there are certain techniques. Like, so when I feel myself sort of starting to absorb someone else's energy, I do things differently with my thoughts, but also with my body. So there's things like pressure points, and they talk about this in acupuncture and Reiki, but something as simple as just tapping over here under your nose. I release, I release, I release. I release, I release, I release. You'll find that you'll feel better. So if it's releasing stress that you're starting to absorb from someone else. Also, guys, watch. I just want to say, watch that the energy or the trend, like if you're like, wait a minute, how come I'm suddenly feeling in a bad mood? Or why am I feeling cranky right now? Yes, it could be physically, like certain, times of the month if you're a woman or whatever it is, right? The moon phases, because they do affect me. So we have a full moon coming up. Full moon just amps everything up. And when I worked as a teacher, I mean, I wouldn't pay attention to the moon cycles really that much when I was teaching. But whenever the kids would, especially when I worked with the younger kids, which was earlier in my career, when the kids would start acting antsy and just everybody's off the wall and you're like, what the heck is going on here? And then sometimes the teachers or EAs or, youth workers would look at each other like, oh, full moon, I think. And we'd go to the calendar and we'd see. So, yes, there's things that do affect energy, but I am tired of I was tired of me doing this. And so when other people are doing this, I want to help them see that they don't have to. I was tired of and didn't even know that there was a way to stop doing this. I was tired of having no control over my energy. I was tired of the fact that, I could do all this and be working hard and staying in a positive vibe and doing all these things. And then some negative person, someone who's decided, I'm going to stay miserable no matter what. I'm going to say negative. If you say it's a beautiful day, I'm just going to say, well, I don't like it because it's raining or, whatever it is, right? um, there are these people, they're insistent on always going to tell you or always thinking in a very negative way. Now, I understand that there are mental health issues. I dealt with depression for many decades, okay? I understand. Again, whatever I talk about, this is from personal experience and experience that I've learned from working with various people throughout the years. The power to be able to take control of your thoughts, your actions, and this includes your energy. So something simple. Let's say that scenario. You walk in, someone's all the whatever, right? Now, I'm not saying for you to lash out at them, which is what I probably would have done when I was younger, which is, why are you so moody? I'm in a good mood. Now you're affecting my mood. First of all, that's putting blame on someone else for how I feel. Okay. So, they are not responsible for how I feel. Okay. When we hear people say, this person said this and they made me feel this, or they made me, then I was in a bad mood and I decided, oh, F that. I'm not going to apply to that job. So you're saying that you're going to allow someone else's random, haphazard moodiness, let's say, to actually change the course of your life. And you know what's sad, guys? But actually, it's been the key. It's been a huge part of my awakening and happiness and freeing myself and healing myself from depression. What's amazing is when you realize that actually they never had the power. You had the power all along. And it's funny because I've realized some movies that I really love have that message. So, like The Wizard of Oz. Okay, I've loved that since the time I was a child. Labyrinth with David Bowie from the 80s. Love that movie. There's a lot of amazing stories. Welcome, Jenny. Anyone else who's popped in, please do say hello. Thank you for joining. If you're called to share, great. Now, I'm going to stop my story right now. I was simply saying that the idea of finding your power is, and you realizing, discovering that you have had the power all along, that is something that is in the hero's journey, for those into literature and all this juicy stuff, in movies, where you see that the key to change and the key to manifesting and having that life, that happiness, is all within our reach. Okay, I'm going to repeat that again, that the key to manifesting what we want in life is all within our reach. Now, if anyone here would love a reading, I would absolutely love to do a reading, and we can connect with your chakras. Okay, so I'm using this deck, Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards. I have many, many decks, but I chose these intuitively before popping on here. I also have Animal Tarot. Ames, I know this is one of your favorite. They are beautiful and they are so gentle and caring. And of course, the Golden Girls, which I've shown earlier. And you'd be surprised at the accuracy. They're based exactly on the Rider-Waite system. They are really, really amazing to work with. So I'm going to take a look at the comments and catch up. Thank you for listening to my rambling/teachings. You love those movies too? Yes. And with The Wizard of Oz, it's like, she had the ruby slippers. She was wearing them all along. She just didn't know what to do with them, right? They weren't just shiny and pretty and, like my nails, shiny. Did I mention I'm random? It wasn't just about that. It was actually, with those slippers, she could actually do the things that are needed in order to get home. It wasn't just, and by the way, she didn't just get home by clickety click on the slippers and that's it. It was the journey, right? And without having gone through that journey, those slippers would not have worked in the same way. Challenge me, but I believe it. Okay. I love to have fun here, guys. Let's see. Trina had said, because I pass out lunches a lot to homeless people. Oh my goodness. Yes. First of all, that's amazing. Guys, don't dim your light because other people are dimming theirs or trying to dim yours. In fact, those in the light, and I will continue reading that, Trina, but those in the light, and what I mean by that is people who are more interested in vibe raising for themselves and for others, and passing on kindness, passing on goodness, keeping gratitude going. Gratitude journal, guys. If somebody said, what is one thing you recommend for pulling yourself out of depression? Now, by the way, I'm not a therapist, not a doctor. I cannot give medical advice, but I will say that one of the things that really helped me was focusing on gratitude. Every day, if you can write 5 things that you are grateful for, write that down in a journal every day. You're going to see the impact. The second thing I would say, in terms of healing your mind from depressive thoughts, from dark energy, that really, this cloud of dark energy was around me for many decades, like I said, and I've been free of depression since last year. And this has to do with living my authentic life. And you cannot do that without being kind to yourself. Because if you are putting yourself down in your thoughts, okay, and I'm talking about, we think, I don't even know what the number is, but we are constantly thinking thoughts all day. The words that we use to communicate to ourselves are so powerful. Now, if you're watching and you would love a reading, we have about 5 to 10 minutes left. I would love to do a reading for you. There is a sale, and it's only when we're doing the live. It's $19.97. Not only do you get a thorough reading from myself, you get a card pulled by our lovely cat who is in the green room watching as we speak. And you get 1 free spin, which can give you things like a 45-minute reading, a 1-hour reading, a half an hour reading for free. And this is true. Every spin gets a prize. Okay. We will not give you, sorry, try again next time. We will not do that. Okay. So sorry. Okay, so Trina, I have a lady who struggles to talk and walk. Looks like she would have had an info. Okay. So yes, you know what? I also use Palo Santo and I put it around myself. Some people use sage. Be clear with the energies, be specific, and call on your guides, call on your angels, call on God, whatever works for you that you feel that you need support with, and ask to go. But when there's more complicated stories, and I won't have time to get into a story, maybe another time I'll tell you. But somebody was trying to come through from the other side. I was kind of ignoring it. And then they started actually moving things here. So I'm like, okay, we've got to do something. And that's a whole other thing. But, we tend to, because of Hollywood and those scary movies, which I used to love watching, by the way. But, because of that, we have this fear, right? There's a lot of fear. And guess what fear loves? Darkness loves? Darkness loves fear, because the more we worry, the more we fear, the more we're actually bringing that to us, right? So this connects with the words. If I keep saying, oh, I'm not going to do well at that, I'm not going to do well, I'm going to suck, I'm going to fail, I'm actually it's like I'm creating a spell, or I'm putting out an intention like failing, failing. That's not what you want to do. Imagine, I worked with children, right? And some of you have children. Some of you have children in your lives that are very important to you. Imagine if every day you spoke in negative ways to that child or those children, like we allow our inner critic to speak to us. Would that child be excited about life? Would that child want to do things or feel empowered? And the answer is no. So right now, if you could right now think of something that you are proud of yourself about, I would love you to write that in the comments. Or if you would like to share something that you are grateful for, I would love to see that in the comments. We only have a little bit left in terms of time, so I would love if somebody would want to click on that link. I would love to do a reading for you. We do have some time, but yes, I would love to see in the comments something that you're grateful for, or something that you're proud about yourself. That it could be, and it doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be, I graduated from this program, which is amazing, but it could be something as, what, I stopped telling myself that I couldn't do something, or I started regularly every day speaking kindly to myself and not allowing my thoughts to put me down. Just like I would not allow someone like a bully to put down a child, then I would not allow my inner critic, which by the way is not your divine higher self. That is not that is your socialized programming. That is the parent figure that was hurting and hurt you. That is the bully in the schoolyard who was being picked on at home who hurt you. So those thoughts, those negative thoughts, those thoughts that keep you down, those thoughts that put you down, those thoughts that are dark, that are negative, that is not you. I feel like I'm shouting. I'm sorry, guys, but Spirit is communicating this to me, and I do have to share, because those who know that I work in the light, I do have to tell you what Spirit is saying. And I am being called to pull one card right now. Thank you, Spirit. Kat did say that I could pull a card toward the end. I still have time to do a reading if anyone wants to do a reading, but I'm going to pull one card for the collective from the Animal Tarot right now. Spirit's guiding me to do that. Oh, okay, here we go. And you know what? I love these, even though I don't need the descriptions, I do love the take that they do on them. Okay, I'll read that to you in a second, but that's a sea lion. And we have winter, which is representing swords. So thank you, Spirit. Swords, winter, the suit of swords, which is considered winter here, is all about thoughts, communication, our thinking. That is what we were just talking about. Okay, I'm going to read this. Sea lion, and this is for everyone who is watching. Your worries and fears aren't real. They're faded. No, sorry, they're fueled by focusing on the negative, which gives power to that which you're afraid of. Stop worrying, let go of fear, and everything will be okay. Om Namah Shivaya. I want to thank my guardian angels and spirit guides for sending this message, because this is very much what I wanted to say. And by the way, I am getting teary-eyed, but it's from happiness, because when you are aligned in your higher power and your true self, and you are no longer living from that place of the inner critic and the programming and the victim stories, everything opens up, and all the things that you thought were just, dreams become reality. So please take that message. This is anyone who needs it. I want to say thank you so much for being here today. And if anyone else has any comments or questions, I would love to hear those as I pour some water. Don't forget to drink water. That was from me. That wasn't Spirit per se. Thank you, Spirit. But don't forget to drink water, says the lady with the unicorn mug. Enjoy. Thank you, Vineet. And Vineet and I will be doing shows together, so stay tuned. And we are just, everyone, I'm so blessed to have everyone here. Thank you. Jenny says, manifestation is where I'm at. I've been getting Kleenex. I cry, but that's good. It's a way to release, okay? It's a way to release. And in the shower, that's also another way to release what isn't yours. So any energies that you've absorbed that day, every night, well, I do this in the shower, but I also do this every single night before I go to bed. I say, I release anything that isn't mine. I release anything, and that includes negative belief systems and old ways of thinking, inner critic. I release anything that no longer serves me. And Vineet and Ames and everyone, I appreciate your comments so much. I thank you so much. And yes, Jenny, manifestation, but you have to start with the thoughts. Thoughts affect everything. Okay. And a lot of times we just assume that if we get a thought, it must be true because we got the thought, right? No. Your inner critic constantly lies, right? Your inner critic constantly lies to you. You can't do this. This isn't for you. That kind of thing. Joy, you're here. We're almost toward the end of the show, but thank you for being here, sis. I just pulled a card for the collective and it was really beautiful, and I'll read it again, but I was just talking about the ways in which we communicate, and the ways in which we actually communicate with ourselves. Our thoughts in our mind that we think are ours, but they are not our higher self. They are not our divine self. They are the reel, that audio reel, that is basically a replayment of the inner critic, which is based on those early childhood moments. Those, like I said, it could be a parent figure, it could be the bullies in the schoolyard, whatever it is. But the inner critic keeps perpetuating and repeating. So I keep showing the message, but let me read it again. Your worries and fears aren't real. They're fueled by focusing on the negative, which gives power to that which you're afraid of. Stop worrying, let go of fear, and everything will be okay. This is exactly what we were talking about. This is the 9 of Swords, and I'm going to show you, I'll show you my Golden Girls deck, what the 9 of Swords looks like. But this is the card from all of the tarot, which is actually talking about what we were just talking about. And that's why I'm so blessed to be working with Spirit. And I'm so grateful that Spirit, backs up messages that I get. And because you know what? Spirit is delivering all the messages. Secret, Spirit is delivering the messages. But yeah, 9 of Swords, and those familiar with tarot know this. It's about that victim mentality, but it's because we keep identifying with it when it's really the critic. That is not our higher self. And you'll know this because I have been operating from my higher self since last year, after decades of following the inner critic. And guess what? Everything has changed. And it's changed to the point where I'm like so happy and so in awe of life every single day. We're talking like major changes, guys. And so whatever I say, I hope you understand and hope you know that I really want to see people flourish. I really want to see people living a life that feels authentic, that feels exciting, that feels true to them. They're no longer playing a character. You don't have to continue playing a character. You don't have to play a role that is not one that you chose for yourself. So I want you to know that as well. The show is, I think, coming to an end soon. I appreciate everyone being here. I'm still looking for that 9 of Swords, but what happens is when you're looking for it, you don't find it. But then again, yes, you do. Inner critic said no, and Spirit said yes. So I'm just showing you another version of that same card. But this is showing, hey, that the great news is it's your thoughts, the inner critic, again, not yours, not your higher self. It's the inner critic's thoughts that are making you feel crappy. So what's amazing about that is you can be like, So you're saying that if I work on day-to-day things like gratitude, things like affirmations, that I am actually going to change the reel in my head? Yes, that's what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. I want to thank everyone for joining me. Kat, I don't know if you're still there. Yes, she's always there. She went to get coffee earlier. I'm going to be getting coffee soon. I want to thank everyone who showed up today. You can always book a private reading. Check out the website. And let's see if we have any more comments or questions. Joy, you're happy to see me here? Yeah, I had a fail. I spilled something, so I had to last minute change my shirt, but it's all worked out. It all worked out. The lesson was don't drink Coca-Cola or Pepsi, and I had a little bit because I hadn't had coffee, so I'm like, I have to have some caffeine. Don't drink Pepsi from a mug with a bunch of ice in it, because when you go like this, that's what I learned. Do you guys notice that sometimes the more those people who are readers here, or even if you're not, if you're just highly intuitive, highly empathetic, you might be a bit clumsy. Does this apply to anyone here? Oh, thank you. You're too kind. I don't feel that, but I appreciate you saying that, Joy. You know, I'm going to take that back. Thank you. When people compliment you, say thank you. Don't correct them. If they say, oh, you know, I love your makeup, don't say, oh, it sucks today. Don't do that. Okay, that's the inner critic. The inner critic is always looking for things to put us down. Yay, put us down. No. So let's show others, you know how we are kind to others and we compliment others and we thank them and we pass on gratitude, just like you pass on a torch light or pass on a candle, pass on the light. You can actually, by accepting someone's gift, whether it's a kind word they said or whatever it is, that says, you know what, I do deserve kindness. I do. Thank you. Thank you. Well, guys, I am going to be ending this show. Kat may be attending to a reading or an appointment, but our hour is up. So thank you again for being here. I appreciate it so much. And I hope to see everyone soon. Bye, everyone. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much to everyone who shared and joined. And Joy, I know you missed most of the show, but I always appreciate familiar faces. Oh, Joy is one of our readers, so please do check her out on the site as well. I always love when our readers come out and support one another. Blessings, lots of love. Take care, everyone. Bye.